welcome everyone to the final day of running for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Our champion has been confirmed yesterday in Freddie Slater, but today we celebrate 100 races for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. The end of an era before we bring in a new car for next season, a new era for the championship. And I'm sure a new host of new drivers as well, with many of these already signed to step up to the FIA Formula 3 Championship next season, including our champion in Freddie Slater. And he claimed that yesterday when he went into the final corner, overtook Evan Joulter with less than 2 minutes to go, and then charged on to go on and take the race win. Matteo De Paolo, unfortunately, was hampered when he took damage to his front wing, was forced to come into the pit lane, couldn't quite recover the points that was necessary to keep the title fight alive, but it looks very, very likely that he will become the vice champion today. The focus today will be on the race for third place, and that is between Enzo Deligny and Pedro Clero. They are split by just 8 points, and that looks set to go all the way to the wire. There come the Orange and Black Army, the Van Amersfoort racing cars. They've gone very close to a championship podium over the course of the 5 seasons that we've had. They fell just shy with Kaz Havercourt a couple of seasons ago. Can Pedro Clero there in the 22 take them to their first ever championship podium in Freca? The Brazilian driver, speaking to him after the race yesterday, seemed very confident in the pace that they had. Not only the pace, but what they'd learnt from yesterday as well. So very interested to see what they can do, and looks in a rush to get on with things today. We also confirmed our rookie champion as well. A well done to Dion Gauda, who confirmed himself as rookie champion yesterday, took the points that was necessary, and also took the record for rookie wins as well. He joins a good selection of drivers as well. Isaac Hadjar was our rookie champion here in 2021. Becoming the rookie champion in 2022 was Leo Fornaroli, and he was here yesterday to congratulate Dion. 2023, the rookie champion was Martinius Stenchon, and last season it was Noah Stromstead as well. So Dion Gauda joining a very good group of drivers there, one of them currently competing in Formula 1, one of them leading the Formula 2 championship, and one of them doing very well in Formula 3 this season. Dion Gauda there in the 55 became rookie champion. Today the focus is on the rest of the championship podium in terms of overall drivers, particularly that battle for third place, and then also the battle for the team's championship as well. So we will keep an eye on that. The advantage still with RHGP, but we do have to consider the pace that Prema Racing had yesterday as well. So Prema Racing, they did look very quick yesterday. They put 3 cars up there in the top 10, but we do have to keep an eye on what they can do. It's a 32-point advantage to RHGP coming into this. So let's see what they can do. RHGP very much got one hand on the title. They just need to have a clean run of things. It's an uphill battle for Prema Racing to recover that. Okay, into qualifying then, to set the grid for the 100th race. In the paddock yesterday and in hospitality, there was a celebration in hospitality to just celebrate the 100th race, the end of an era, of course, with Alpine being in the paddock, and in conjunction with this championship, the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine era comes to an end today, and then it's on to a new era, a new car, and let's hope that we can end on a high with a really good race. We've had some cracking races here over the years, and I really do hope that today is another yesterday it was a hectic race, wasn't it? It was one that was filled with drama, filled with intensity, and I hope we get a really good one to end on today. One thing that was noted yesterday, to focus on this qualifying session, was how cold it was out on track. We have an air temperature of just 6 degrees, a track temperature of 8 degrees. Speaking to a few of the drivers yesterday, they said it was actually wet around the circuit, and there was a burst drain pipe apparently around the circuit that was throwing water out onto one of the corners, and that was why we saw drivers literally flying off the circuit. That was what the drivers were telling me, that there was fluid being thrown out onto the circuit in one of the corners, and with that, drivers were just flying off. And it was strange. If you were watching qualifying yesterday, it was weird. It was like there was a car dropping fluid somewhere, but it was actually that somewhere around the track there seemed to be fluid coming out. So yeah, let's see what we get today. It was also that there were damp patches around the circuit, maybe not so visible from watching on the live stream, but that it was just so cold that the drivers took so long to get heat into these tyres. There's going to be a change in the tyres next season. They're going to go from 13 to 15 inch. It's going to be more a step in the direction to Formula 3 and should provide a different qualifying format. It should give us a more one-lap push. From speaking to Freddie Slater yesterday in particular, he thinks that it will be a step towards that Formula 3 format for those of you F3 fans, and I'm sure a huge amount of you watching on are F3 fans as well. Okay, well, that's why I've been just talking a little bit, previewing next season, because as you can see, Evan Gilter, podium finisher yesterday, is still putting heat into the tyres. We clocked down to around 6 minutes yesterday before we saw the flying laps coming in. Evan Gilter was happy with how he finished yesterday, but felt that they just suffered a bit with tyre degradation and wanted to learn from that. Our result yesterday was Slater, Gilter, Claro, Taito Kato, Rashid Al-Daheri, Nikita Bedrin. He was very happy with how he charged through the field, but felt that maybe they could have had a bit more race pace. Let's see what they can do today. Dion Gauda, rookie champion. Nando Woodbridden-Bakti, Enzo Deligny, Ricky Liu, and then Matteo De Paolo, who was incredibly disappointed leaving the paddock yesterday. Understandably, just feeling a little bit down, but he wants to leave on a high. He's going to continue with Trident in Formula 3 next season. He has taken Trident to their first win and now their first run at a title fight, and he wants to give them a Vice Champions trophy in terms of the drivers to leave this season with before he goes on to Formula 3 next season. Okay, the first push laps look like they're coming in. Pedro Claro trying to go after third place. This is Group D, so these are the drivers when we came into the weekend who are in the even-numbered positions in the championship. We've got Claro, Yamakoshi seemingly working together. Yamakoshi was out of the race yesterday, as was Bora, Agozi, Belov, Stolchimanis, Nakamura and Beaton. There was a lot of retirees, a lot of incidents. So some drivers out there will be looking to recover. We've got Claro leading, Yamakoshi, Agozi, Claro, Shirovsky, De Paolo, Gilter, Nakamura, Liu, Birenbakti, Lee, Borgner, Veselau. But it was down in the 144s in terms of pole times yesterday. So we've got a bit of a way to go here before we're going to get down to that. And we're coming across the line to a 146. So now we're getting to the respectable times we're expecting to see. Next laps, I'd say, would be kind of looking towards provisional pole times. Pedro Claro, the Brazilian, trying to charge after that championship podium. I think less playing games today as well. There are a lot of drivers who were playing games in terms of trying to find a toe. It seems that they've decided between themselves that they're not going to do that today. And Claro is actually happy to be the one leading the way here as he makes his way through the Roggia. And now down to the Lesmos. Let's watch the Brazilian driver go through. Hiyu Yamakoshi behind him. looking to end his time in this championship on a high. Dion Gauder, I hope will be back with us next season. He's been a great asset to this championship. They're next along, third in queue. And then one of the RPM cars, I think that might be Shirovsky, who's currently leading this session, down to Ascari. Just take a little bit of curb through there, and drivers will tell me you drop a little bit of gravel through there and it makes a big difference. If you watched the F3 race earlier in the year when Ugachuku spun through there, that is all down to the gravel. So any drivers who grab gravel down at that part of the circuit, it does make a big difference. And I just noted that because I saw Claro did just put a little bit of gravel down. Round Parabolica now, down the start-finish straight we go. Let's see the times on the board then. Claro goes fastest, but is beaten by Yamakoshi following him, and Dion Gauder, the fastest of the three, takes the provisional pole time. Shirovsky in the background goes fourth place. Egozi next along is P5. And then we've got Evan Gilter. We're yet to see him make his impact, but now he does, and he was comfortably fastest in this group yesterday, so he's one to watch, is the Frenchman, and he'll be out to try and get overall pole position and the win, because he was a little bit frustrated he didn't get that yesterday. 1:44.5 was the quickest in the other group yesterday, so that's the kind of times we've got to get down to here. 1:45.3 for Gilter. De Paolo is second. Liu is third. Canato Lee fourth. Dion Gauder fifth. This is for what row of the grid they will start on. So we've got Gauder, the best of the rookies with that yellow bar next to him, would be rounding out the top 10. Yamakoshi next. And then Claro, Shirovsky, Biron Bakti, Egozi, Nakamura, Borgner, and Veselau. Time deleted for number 50, James Egozi, for track limits. So he's just had a time deleted. I think that might have been out of Roger. We've had another time deleted as well for Biron Bakti through the first corner. 4 wheels over the white line, and your time will be deleted. But quick sectors coming in. De Paolo looks to be going fastest. Gilter, I think, will be provisionally fastest, but De Paolo looks to be fastest of anyone here. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. De Paolo just needs to put himself in the top 10, really. He's looking very quick, and I think he's going to be the one to go fastest unless Gilter can put a really good last sector together. Up to the line we go. We watch Evan Gilter now heading up. There goes Nanda Woodbin back to over the line, but Gilter has gone fastest. What about in the background? Here comes Matteo De Paolo, and that is provisional pole position. There will be another group after this, which includes our champion, Freddie Slater. Dion Gauder is now purple through the first sector, as is De Paolo, as is Gilter, as is Nakamura. Everyone is going faster now because the track is getting quicker and it's heating up. It's now up to 8 degrees track temperature, so it's just rising all the time. It could be last over the line stuff here. It's every lap you have to be improving. You cannot afford to run wide. De Paolo was punished yesterday when he locked up, ran wide over the first chicane, then rejoined into the path of Dion Gauder. He would not only lose a lap for that, but he would also receive a 2-place grid drop as well. Oh, wow. That's Borgner, who locks up, runs wide over Ascari. That will, I'm sure, affect that. It will affect that lap, but I'm sure that will affect the next lap, was what I was going to go on to say as well, with the dirt on his tyres. So Edward Borgner now on the back foot through the final corner then. The Van Amersfoort racing cars are leading the queue, but Claro is only down in P9 so far. He really needs to improve, and he's gone up to P3. Gauder, though, going better. Claro is seemingly suffering here without a toe, because Yamakoshi, Gauder in particular, is just going a little bit quicker, but Claro is still going to go for this. He's only going to have 1, maybe 2 more attempts at it. Let's watch De Paolo over the line, and he goes back to the top. 1:44.4. Gilter did not improve. I think may have backed off and has gone for another run. Shirovsky is doing very well. The rookie, P3, could end with a rookie win. Gauda got the rookie win yesterday. Someone's gone wide, so someone has lost their last lap in the background. Didn't see who it was, but I think, well, wouldn't like to stab a guess actually, but I don't know who that was who went wide in the background. But we saw someone run wide, and that's where we were talking about De Paolo earlier. If you run wide, you can be heavily punished for taking the escape road. Your lap's gone. Right, let's pick up De Paolo once again. It might have been Canato Lee because he's just come up, his time's deleted. Okay, we're watching De Paolo then through the Lesmos. He is up on this lap. Evan Gilter, 7,000ths up. De Paolo's now 200ths down through the second split. Someone's had a huge lock-up in Ascari, haven't they? Evan Gilter versus Matteo De Paolo, and De Paolo's just slightly down, but not so much that he can't recover it through the final split here. Those two, it seems it's a straight fight between them for pole position, and Evan Gilter is grabbing a slight toe from Bilon Bagdi ahead. Gauda's gone to third. Shirovsky is fourth. Claro is fifth. They're all across the line, and I think may have just made it over to get one more lap in. Through the final corner, up to the line. Here comes De Paolo and Evan Gilter. Bilon Bagdi will be first over the line, stays eighth. Gilter stays second, so did not improve through the final sector, and that will benefit Matteo De Paolo because he will stay fastest. However, Dion Gauda and Shirovsky are both improving on this lap. Dion Gauda is going fastest of anyone, but it seems his time has been deleted and he's bailed. So Dion Gauda has bailed from the lap. So has Pedro Claro, and Shirovsky is down by 0.3 of a second. So that seemingly will be that, and it will be Matteo De Paolo who will be fastest in the first group with a 1:44.407, and that will be the time to beat for the next group. Matteo De Paolo, what a way to bounce back after what happened yesterday. It seems Shirovsky's still going on. He might improve to third, but he will. I don't think he's in a position to challenge. That's, I think, is all, though. De Paolo makes his way out, and after what happened yesterday with the damage he got to the front wing, here is Shirovsky. He's 0.4 down, so I think could find his way past Dion Gauda. Let's see him over the line. He's got a handy toe up to the line. Yamakoshi is ahead. And there he goes, third place. So Shirovsky, what a lap. So he will be the best of the rookies in this group. And Shirovsky makes his way onto the third row, and at worst will start P6 and could end his season with a rookie win. So he's gone ahead of the rookie champion. Well done to the Polish driver. Shirovsky goes to P3. Matteo De Paolo then, fastest in the group overall. Evan Gilter second. Matteo De Paolo now will wait to see if that time is beaten. Jan Shirovsky third. Dion Gauda fourth. Pedro Claro fifth. Jin Nakamura sixth. And then it's an Yamakoshi in seventh. Bilon Bagdi in eighth. Ricky Liu ninth. Lee in 10th, Igozi 11th, Borgner in 12th, Veselau next, Pedro Claro, 5th place for him. So Enzo Deligny has an opportunity just to consolidate himself in that third place in the championship. It's a close fight between them, but Enzo Deligny in this next group now, if he can get himself up the top 10 on the grid, it will very much be in his favour going into the 100th race. But Matteo De Paolo will be on the front row very much, unless he has a complete disaster later. It looks like Matteo De Paolo will be our vice champion, and I think that consolidates things for him, really. A great qualifying for him. Coming back to do that, so a well done to Matteo De Paolo, particularly after how disappointed he was yesterday to bounce back in that fashion. Home race for him as well. If he can go and win the 100th race for Trident on home soil, leave the championship with a win, he'll be very happy with that, and it would be quite a way for him to finish his season. But he knows the job's far from done, and he'll have to wait to see who's going to be alongside him on the front row and which side of the grid he's going to start on now. But he's done all he can. Matteo De Paolo steps out the car. He's still a 1:44.407, and it's over to the Group A drivers to try and beat him. Okay, we turn our attention then to the Group A drivers, who will take to the track in 45 seconds. Sakir Al-Maserji will be in the number 3. Nikita Bedrin will be in the number 10. Ania Frey will be in the 12. Rashid Al-Daheri will be in the 14. Just escaped an incident yesterday. It was he was avoiding teammate Jack Beaton and managed to keep going and showed good pace. Rashid Al-Daheri. Michael Belov had a crash with James Igozi, so that then led to an incident with Hiyu Yamakoshi. So Michael Belov out there in the number 20. Thomas Stolchamanis will be in the 21, Enzo Deligny in the 23, Freddie Slater in the 27, our champion, Akshay Bora in the 31, Eddie Robinson is in the 35, Jack Beaton in the 45, Taito Kato in the 89, and Giovanni Maschio is in the 99 car. Home race for him. Cars just making their way out onto the circuit now. Michael Belov coming out onto the circuit. Just putting his car alongside Ania Frey. And he will be hoping to get himself a good result today. Has had a big part in this 100 races that we've had in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Michael Belov, has been great to have him in the paddock. Let's see what he can do today. Likewise, Giovanni Maschio, he's the number 99 car. He's been around for several of those races, so it'd be good to see him end on a high. And there's our champion, Freddie Slater, in the 27. And spoke very highly of his Prema Racing team. He's going to go off to Macau, as several drivers are, with the Prema Racing Theodore team next month. And then after that, it will be off to the Formula 3 Championship with the Trident team, where he'll join Matteo De Paolo as his teammate. And Noah Stromstead as well, a former rookie champion in this category. But he spoke very highly of his Prema team. They've done great work with him. He won the Italian F4 championship last season. He was an F4 Middle East champion. He won the Genetics Junior Championship the year before as well, won the Winter Series there. So he has been consistently winning championships year on year, and his karting career was incredibly successful as well. So this all comes as no surprise for Freddie Slater, and to keep adding those titles, he is going to go into that Formula 3 Championship next year. Really is one to watch now, and he will leave the Prema Racing team with a lot of success. And he spoke very highly of them about the support that they'd given him and the success they've had together. And for now, at least, he ends his journey with them, and will end it with them over in Macau, and he'll definitely be one to watch over there, won't he? But it was great to speak with him about that yesterday, and he will be looking to add to those wins again today. He will not want to finish that here. He's picked up a huge amount of wins now, 7. If he can go and get 8 in a season, that would be impressive. It was 8 for Gregoire Saucy in his winning campaign in 2021. Can Freddie Slater go and match that? That would be some record to go and match if Freddie Slater can go and do that. Heading down the hill then, into Ascari, we can see that we've got the two CR Motorsports drivers on screen, just picking up on a couple of grid penalties that we're going to have in this race. Sakir Al-Maserji, they both come in this, well, one of them in this group anyway. Sakir Al-Maserji will have a grid drop of 2 positions, and James Igozi likewise. So there will be a couple of grid drops. So that's 2 things to note. So we did have that incident with Michael Belov, didn't we, and James Igozi, where it was a little bit hard to note what happened there when the drivers jumped out the car. But the grid drop has gone to James Igozi. So I think that tells us what the stewards thought of that one. James Igozi and Sakir Al-Maserji have both picked up a grid drop of 2 places for this race. Through the start-finish straight, and Anir Frey and Michael Belov have actually come into the pit lane. So I'm not too sure what they've exactly come in for, but might be a tactic that the team have taken. I can see on just looking out the window that Frey's come straight back out again. Not sure if they're just trying to get themselves out of the queue. Sometimes drivers will take that pit lane to just put themselves further back in the queue. They'll just literally drive through the pit lane. They won't even bother to stop with their team. They'll just simply drive through, and that will put them further back in the queue and take them kind of out the mess. Oh, 2 of the RSGP cars have ran wide. That's Deligny and Bora. It seems in this session we're playing games, isn't it? We weren't in the last one. Everyone was just going for it. We had quite a high pace set, but Freddie Slater now carries a larger toe, doesn't he, than he did yesterday. His stake has gone up significantly as the champion, and everyone wants a little bit of it. So leading that chase is Thomas Stolchemanis, the Latvian, who is here for his first weekend, and he wants to be in the drag of Slater, and so does pretty much everyone else. Towards the back of the queue, we got Aldeheri, Beaton, Bora, and then I think some drivers have decided to separate themselves from this group. But Slater, for now, is happy to do the leading, but everyone else is trying to do the chasing. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. It seems we're going to warm up the tyres one more time. That's because we have an air temperature of 6 degrees, a track temperature of 8. We may be in Monza, but it's really cold. In the mornings and in the evenings, it gets really cold here, and then during the day it warms up. So for our race, which will be at 2:50, it should be quite nice temperatures. But for these qualifying sessions, it's been really cold. F4 action also on today as well. We've got the E4 Championship conclusion, so we've crowned a FRECA champion. We're also going to crown an E4 champion today, and that could happen straight after this. So if you're just tuning in for some single-seater action today, I advise you do that as well. That's going to be straight after this, because many of those drivers are probably going to step up to this next season. That will be race 2 at 9:30, and then race 3 at 10 to 4 local time. Do stick around and see that. They've got their 3rd and final round. Keen Nakamura Berta trying to do the double, which no one has done before since the inception of the E4 Championship. Okay, with some of the RSGP drivers just taking a bit of a shortcut there, we now have separated the field. So Enzo Deligny just went over the Roger chicane, took his own line, and is now the one closest to Freddie Slater, who has bolted. So we now have a bit of a split in the field. And I think now we are going to see some flying laps. Here we go. We're in a straight line. Right, let's go for this now. 1:44.407 to beat. And Freddie Slater can now relax as the champion and go for it. I think more significantly, though, Enzo Deligny fighting with Pedro Claro for third. He needs to be fourth or higher, really, to have that advantage, doesn't he? Needs to be in the top 5. Otherwise, the advantage goes to the Brazilian driver. Round Curva Grande, then, and down to the Roger chicane. Are we going to get a surprise as well? Are we going to get someone snatch a first pole position, snatch a first podium, snatch a first win? These are the final opportunities for drivers. There's nothing to lose. The 100th race coming up later. Who is going to crown themselves the winner of that 100th race? Slater through Lesmo 1. Into the second. He looks so smooth, doesn't he, through there on his first flying lap. 1.9 up compared to 0.6 for Enzo Deligny. He's absolutely flying. Closest to him, looking at the splits, I think, will be Thomas Stolchimanis. RPM have it really hooked up today. They just went third in the previous group with Shirovsky. And I think Stolchimanis will be the closest to him at the end of this first lap. That might change. But Stolchimanis is third in queue. He's got Akshay Bora behind. And he's got Enzo Deligny ahead. He's placed his car very well. Some drivers are still going through a warm-up phase, but I think this could be good for Stolchimanis through the final corner and up to the line. Slater is absolutely flying. This could be good enough to go fastest overall. It's close, 1:44.897. He's only 0.4 away. Enzo Deligny is over a second back. Akshay Bora likewise, but he's right behind Stolchimanis, and he's being delayed now. Taito Kato is second place. Belov is in third place. Through Curva Grande then, and Bora, I'm sure, will want to get by Stolchimanis. If anything, he's actually one that was holding him up there. But the rest of the field, 0.3 behind this driver here, Freddie Slater, our champion. Let's watch them through the next split. Jack Beaton, 0.2 up on his lap this time around. And this should give us more representation now. Looking at the screen, and Jack Beaton looking good. Michael Belov looking good as well. Could we see Michael Belov get himself up on the podium on the 100th race? Somewhere we have seen him before. Down to Ascari, then Taito Kato. He's been looking good all season. Whoa, and a rare mistake there for Freddie Slater, who's gone off at Ascari. Oh, look at it for Freddie Slater, briefly airborne there. And there is mistakes in the champion, and he's going to have to get weaving again, and that's going to drop him into the clutches of Enzo Deligny, who... I don't know if Enzo Deligny was forced to slow in avoidance there, but Freddie Slater, is he going to have damage to that floor of the car there, because he went over 2 curbs airborne? And I wonder if we're going to see Freddie Slater forced to come in, or is that car going to hold strong on him? It looks like he's continued on. The front wing has managed to stay intact, so that's a really good job from the car to be able to stay intact there. Jack Beaton, meanwhile, has gone second, so it's a Prema 1-2, which is good for the Teams Championship. Right, let's watch this again. He's had a lock-up to the front right, and then he's just not been able to control it. Hits the curb, the front comes up, and then I think he's just about got away with it. Here we go. There you can see the lock-up. Oh, and it was a rough ride through, but held on to it all the way through, managed to just about keep it in a straight line, and he's managed to keep it going here. So thankfully hasn't picked up any significant front wing damage. Doesn't seem there's anything... visibly, it doesn't seem there's any other damage. There might be a subtle damage that we can't see. But Freddie Slater is allowed to now go back through. He was pushing very hard, and he's still fastest. Now, 23, 45, 14 3 cars are under investigation for failing to follow race director's instructions. Now, we did see some cars taking their own line. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm not going to make any assumptions here, but let's find out what that's all about after the session. But we've got 3 cars in Enzo Deligny, Jack Beaton and Rashid Al-Dhahiri. They're under investigation. There was a lot of games going on, wasn't there, at the start, and I wonder if that's what that's all about. Jack Beaton to the top. The number 45 at the back of the queue there. The lead 5, he has gone to what is now quickest in this group. It's not quite overall pole position yet, but it's very close. He's 2.5 tenths back. For now, it will be Matteo De Paolo on pole, and this is the last chance for everyone to improve. Freddie Slater has dropped to P5, but he's leading this queue, and he's not improving on this lap. So no chance for Freddie Slater, it seems, to improve unless he can pull something special out in the final couple of sectors. In fact, everyone is down. It looks like the pole position will go to Matteo De Paolo, and it will be De Paolo and Beaton on the front row of the grid. Trident and Bremer. Be a great result this for Jack Beaton on the front row of the grid. Rashid Al-Dhahiri in second, Nikita Bedrin in third, Taito Kato fourth, Slater, Enzo Deligny all the way down in 11th, has to improve on this lap, and he's under investigation as well. So the advantage swinging in the favour of Pedro Claro. There's Enzo Deligny, second in queue. He has to improve on this lap. Currently set to go into the top 5, but he really needs to pull something special out through this final corner, and Enzo Deligny is not improving. Let's see what he can do, though. Up towards the line now. Enzo Deligny goes P6. Well, that will just about be enough to keep himself in rough contention. He'll be a couple rows back. Slater goes to overall pole position. Meanwhile, just ahead, and it's another pole for Freddie Slater. Up to the line he went. I did put more focus on the championship fight there, but Freddie Slater takes another pole position, 144.334. He pulled it out right at the end of the session. Jack Beaton second. Taito Kato, it seemed, was improving, but that looks like it will be that. Freddie Slater takes overall pole position. Jack Beaton second, Nikita Bedrin third, Rashid Al-Dhahiri fourth, and Eddie Robinson will be in the top 10. And that drops Enzo Deligny down to P9. So it's advantage Pedro Claro in the race for the championship podium. And it's another pole position for Freddie Slater. What a season he is having so far. He adds yet another pole position to it for Freddie Slater. That is now 6 for the season. And he has a chance to go out with 8 wins in a season. We saw Gregoire Saucy do that back in 2021. Can Freddie Slater go and match that now and get 8 wins himself to leave this championship? What a record that would be to match 8 wins in a season. It's only been done by Gregoire Saucy in 2021. Jack Beaton finishing in second place there. That's a great result for the Aussie. Nikita Bedrin in third will be very happy. He's got a chance to end this on a podium. Rashid Al-Dhahiri fourth, Eddie Robinson fifth, Taito Kato P6, Michael Belov seventh, the Bora in 8th place. Another disappointing qualifying for Akshay Bora. Enzo Deligny down in 9th. He's going to be on the 9th row of the grid. Maschio, Stolchimanis, Frey, Almasergi. Well, join us for the final race, the 100th race at 2:50 local time. The race for the championship podium is on. Its advantage, Van Amersfoort Racing and Pedro Claro. We will see you at 2:50 local time.